So here's another question.
Yeah.
Should it be the police officers that are that are responsible for what happened, or should it be the city?
Well, I think my thoughts on it are probably a little bit more controversial. I think the entire community is responsible. And I mean that, like, obviously certain people are more responsible than others. The officers that executed Antonio, they're the most responsible. But the city is responsible for the policies that allowed it to happen. They're responsible for hiring them, and as a community, we have to make sure that the reforms get put into place so that this doesn't happen. So that's what I mean, is that we all kind of have to take responsibility. I don't know. I mean, it's a weird way of talking about it, but I just mean, I don't know.
Well, I kind of understand that. It's because it's essentially the people that are voting. They're voting in the kind of. They're essentially voting for.
We allow these people to get elected or whatever. Yeah. We allowed them into office. We pay
their salaries.
We pay their salaries.
We paid for that bullet that entered that man's body.
And that's why people are so upset, is because how could you? We put you here, and how could you do that?
Okay. No, está bien, aquí estamos. Muchas gracias. Sí, pónganse estaciones en el otro lugar, para que no se cierren.
Por eso venimos a hacer el agua ahorita, porque a la mejor que tenemos no
Because one of the other things I think about it, as far as saying it's people responsible, is not I don't what I'm thinking is sometimes people don't their family members might be getting into criminal activity or something, but their family members want to be blind to it or something, so they don't really care for their children. They wait until it's too late. That's kind of
part of it. For that aspect of it, it's almost entirely economic.
Yeah,
so, we have a community that is for the most part working poor. Almost everyone in this community is working, but they're still low income, and so to be able to if you look at instances of violence or crime,
it comes from it's economics. Everything's economics. Yeah.
So the greater the inequality, the more crime, the more violence, the more social problems. So I'm trying to help connect the dots, that kind of stuff, so that, because as a community we are responsible, but at the same time there's systemic issues that make it almost impossible for the community to address.
Yeah.
I'm really unhappy with this movement.
It's if you're working 40, 50 hours a week, and you want to make sure that your kids stay out of trouble, but they're I mean it's not.
I understand that one, because we were running our automotive shop. We were at the automotive shop at least 10 hours a day when my son get out of school. No one's at home, so he's kicking it with his homies, and then of course bad choices get made, and it's because we're working all the time to be able to pay our bills and get him what they want, and
you can't be everywhere at once, and
it's, I think, if you ask me, that it's way upstairs. It's really causing this problem.
And
you got because you got like the Federal Reserve that prints money, and it's actually creating
our entire monetary structure is a farce. It's a lie. And so, we have, this agreed upon medium of exchange that is entirely manipulated by the
people who can print it out of thin air.
The ruling class. And and their concerns are strictly in profit and making sure that debt is everywhere. The more debt there is,
Debt is money.
yeah, debt is their wealth.
Yep.
So, you know, it's essentially slavery. I mean, it's economic slavery.
It is.
So, I mean, I don't want to detract from actual slavery, obviously, but, you know, wage slavery, economic slavery.
Well, yeah, you work. They print money. That's taken away from your time.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, you know, when they do their, you know, their, whatever you call it, the easing.
Quantitative easing, yeah.
You know, they devalue the currency, and then, you know, we have to work twice as hard.
They say the economy is getting better because the stock market's going up.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah, look at the stock market. Look at the Dow Jones is up, and, you know, and tell that to the families that are out here working, you know.
it's like, oh yeah, right.
Ready, put food on the table.
It's like, yeah, I make
There's another 50% raise on the PUD bill, and
Yeah, and you know, when you look at what happened to Antonio, he was homeless. I mean, for the most part, you know, his family was trying to take care of him, but, you know, he was in a situation where, you know, he had issues and he needed help.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, you know, it's difficult for the average family to be able to, you know, to carry people who are having trouble because of the way this system is set up. It's like,
yeah.
you know, you can't carry all the family members. You know, you can't. So
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd say one of the things that I notice, it's, you know, I see protests on the news and such. Is, you know, one of the things is like, I want to see these protests going in, protesting the things that are actually causing the issue. And,
yeah, and that's difficult. It's difficult to do because for a couple of reasons. Part of it is, as soon as you start talking about the larger issues, people think you're inserting your own agenda.
Yeah.
So there's the aspect of respecting the family in making sure that we're talking about seeking justice for Antonio, but in order to do that, we do have to address the larger issues. And you know, it's complex. It's not something that you can just sit down and explain. If you're not researching this stuff, then you're probably missing a part of it.
Yeah.
And to connect the dots for everyone and to help everyone understand how they're being oppressed, it's almost impossible.
Thank you very much.
So it's education, really. I mean, all around it's an educational challenge.
Yeah, very unpopular and hard to get across.
Most people that understand it don't want to talk about it, or they're so fed up with it that, you know, it's really hard to deal with. It's, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Everybody's still. But the police.
Oh, man, we're gonna have that all day. Just expect that all day. But you know what? As long as
As long as they just say it, no.
right.
Put their action forward.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll be good.
I don't think we should be bouncing on everyone for talking. You know what I'm saying? Let's just.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah,
Keep my mouth shut, because you know I'm
it's a free country.
I know it. The emotions are going to be running high.